welcome to the stage. It came from Belmont, Paul Rossi.
Good to be back in the Bronx, back home, after all these years. Nicknames. I have a friend, Richie. Richie and I have known each other since we were 6 and 7 years old, respectively, me being the elder. And we've kept in touch all of these years. And over the last 15 years or so, I've started to give Richie a nickname. I started to call him the Angel of Death. Because he called me up, and after the usual, hey, what's new, how you been, how's the family, he says somewhere in the conversation, hey, boy, who died? Let's face it, we're getting to that point in life where life stops giving you things and starts taking things back. Well, one time Richie had called me, believe it or not, it wasn't to tell me that somebody had died. Go figure. We were talking about guys from the old neighborhood. And I said to Richie, you remember Squid? He goes, yeah, sure, I remember Squid. Now, Squid was a guy about 25 years older than we were. And I said, hey, Richie, do you remember Squid's real name? He goes, no, what was it? I said, I don't have a clue. I don't know. I said, but you know, Richie, you and I were both raised that when somebody passed away, we went and we paid our respects. You know, if it hasn't happened yet, God forbid when it happens, how are we going to know when Squid died? We're going to see it in the obituary. Squid. I regret to inform you that Squid has passed away at the age of 92. He is survived by his wife of 48 years, Octopus, and his children, Tuna, Bass, and Shark, and 3 schools of grandchildren. How the hell are we going to know? Well, later on that day, I was reminiscing about growing up in the Bronx, 103rd Street and Beaumont Avenue, in the Belmont / Little Italy section of the Bronx, not too far from me. And right across the street from me, on the other corner, was a typical mom-and-pop New York City candy store, run by Minnie and Mo, Mo's Candy Store. You know, typical, like you'd find in any neighborhood in the Bronx or anywhere in New York. And in the back of Mo's store, he had 3 booths. And we'd sit back there, the guys and the girls, and we'd hang out. He had a jukebox back there, you know, we'd play the jukebox. And he had a string of 3 of the old-fashioned telephone booths. You remember the wooden telephone booths? Where you push the door in the middle and it would open like an accordion kind of thing? Well, one rainy summer afternoon, nobody was around, and I was sitting in the back having a soda, and Mo was up front, he was washing stuff. And one of the phones rings. And I hear him yell out, hey, Paulie, my hands are wet, get the phone. I said, okay. I picked up the phone and said, hello, Mo's Candy Store. The guy at the other end says, hi, can I speak to Albert Dalbieri, please? So by now, Mo has made his way back where I am. I put my hand over the receiver. I said, hey, Mo, some guy wants Albert Dalbieri. Who's that? He gives the phone out of my hand. He goes, that's me. So he gets into the phone booth. He talks to the guy. I sit down and finish my soda. He comes out and he looks at me and goes, what? You think my mother baptized me Lefty Mo? I said, yeah. All my life, that's all I ever knew you by. My father, who grew up with this guy, never referred to him as anything else but Lefty, Mo, or Mo. Never Albert, Mr. Dalbieri, nothing. Go figure. Now, Mo had this routine with the store. He'd open about 5:30 in the morning, and at noontime, Minnie would come over with lunch. Now, they lived on the same side of the street I did, just a couple houses down. Now, her and Mo would sit in one of the booths and have lunch, and she brought this guy with her that would lunch the store while they ate lunch. Pop. Her pop, his pop, somebody's pop, nobody's pop, who the hell knew? Now, about 4 o'clock, Mo would go home. And he had these guys that would keep the store open until about 10 o'clock, lock up, and on their way home, they'd go and they'd slip the key on the Mo's door. One guy was Willie Mays. Not Willie in the Bronx. Hey, Willie! Hey, go, Willie! John J. O'Rourke, which translates means John J. Pig, and Joe Huggins. Huggins, short guy, little thin mustache, looked like he always needed a shave, had a few missing teeth, and he used to smoke these crinkled up little cigars called Denapoli cigars. I don't even know if they make them anymore. Commonly referred to in our neighborhood as guinea stickers, because they stunk like hell. And he'd stick a cigar in between a few of his missing teeth, and he'd talk. And people would understand him. I never understood a freaking word this guy said. Now, years go by, and to my surprise, you know what I find out? Willie Mays, John J. O'Rourke, Joe Huggins are brothers. They're the Giamboro brothers. No family resemblance whatsoever. Never knew until somebody had told me, you gotta be kidding me. Now, on Saturday, Mo would vary the routine a little bit. He would open about 7, and at noontime he'd go home. And he'd have these guys that would keep the store open until 10 like they did during the week. One guy in particular, Hop, H-O-P, Hop. Very distinguished looking man. He had white hair, but prematurely white. He wasn't that old. He taught high school science at Evander Childs High School in the Bronx. Now one day, Hop is in there, he's talking to me and my buddies are in the back and just hanging out. And he left, and all of a sudden I hear Mo yell out, hey, Paulie, come here a minute. Yeah, Mo, what's the matter? Hop left this mail here. He says, go chase him down, so he's not going to come all the way back here. Well, I said, okay. So I walk outside, and I see him about 3/4 of the way down the block. And I'm yelling, hey, Hop! Hey, Hop! And I'm waving the mail, and I'm running down the street. He turns around, he sees me, realizes, there's my mail there. And I catch up to him, I'm all out of breath. They say, Hop, Mo said you left your mail. And so, hey, thanks, Paulie, you saved me a trip. And I said, it says Eustace Martin. He goes, yeah, that's me. I said, you're Eustace Martin? He goes, yeah, when I became a teacher, I shortened it for professional reasons. So I said, well, what did you shorten it from? Estacio di Santa Martino. I said, oh, Estacio di Santa Martino, Eustace Martin, Hop. Now I get it. Not! How the hell do you get Hop out of that? Now, to bring this a little closer to home. When I was in high school, by the way, I went to Spelman, not Hayes, but you're not holding it against me. Okay. I was first graduating class 50 years this summer, okay? All right. I had this routine. When I came home on Friday, if I had homework, I did it right away. This way, at the summertime, my parents would let me go out with my friends for a couple hours, and I had the whole weekend free to myself. Well, this one Friday, I'm going through this routine, and my mom's there. And as per custom, my dad comes home from work about 5:30. My mother says, I got a phone call today from your cousin Betty. I got some bad news. My cousin, what happened? Her brother died. And my father, oh my God, Mixie? Now, Mixie and Betty were twins, brother and sister. So my brother goes, no, the older brother, Shoes. Oh, Shoes died. Yeah, when did he die? Died on Monday. And he's Friday. What are they calling now for? Oh, Mixie called, Betty called you, Betty called, Mixie called you, nobody calls you. Oh, my father said, when's the funeral? I said, it's tomorrow. I thought, oh my God, he goes, we're going to Atlantic City with Connie and Freddie, to the aunt and uncle of mine. My mother says, yeah, but now look, the last night the wait is tonight, so well, we got to go. I figured you want to do that. Let me make something for Paul for supper. You go get washed and dressed, I'm ready. We'll go to the wake, after the wake we'll go out and get something to eat. My father says, fine. So he goes in and he gets dressed and comes out of the bedroom. My dad, he's got his suit, his tie, his hat on. My mother's sitting at the kitchen table. And he says, okay, ready? And my mother says, you're going to think I'm crazy. She says, I have the mask card here. What was Shoes' name? And my father says, I don't remember. I think it was Anthony. And I said, hey, Dad, what they call him Shoes for? He was a shoemaker. My mother had to wait to get to the funeral parlor to write out the mask. By the way, it was Anthony. I Anthony. But hey, here's a relative, a cousin. They don't know the guy's freaking name. Shoes, because he was a shoemaker. Time marches on. I grow up, get married. Company I'm with relocates to Pennsylvania. So now I'm living out in the wilds of Pennsylvania at the base of the Pocono Mountains. And now I find out, to my surprise, that nicknames aren't common just in New York, the Bronx, Italian neighborhoods, Jewish neighborhoods, nothing. But there too. Now, we live right next door to this farm, and we still live there. Run by Mr. and Mrs. Thomas, Bob and Dorothea Thomas. And they lived off their farm. And I was glad because Dana and my other daughter got to see what it was like if people actually lived off the land. And every autumn, he would harvest his hay crop. And he'd ask some of the people in the neighborhood and our kids if we'd help harvesting and baling the hay. Here I am, only for the Bronx. I'm freaking baling hay. Right? Now, he had these two guys that helped him. Old Stanley up the back and Boopy. Now, years go by, and unfortunately, Mr. Thomas has since passed away, may he rest in peace. But Mrs. Thomas still lives there, but she doesn't operate the farm anymore. And one day she's out for a walk and she sees me outside. She comes in and we were talking. She goes, "Oh, remember when we used to help Bumpy out and bail in the hay?" I said, "Oh, yeah." I said, "Those were great times. They really were." She goes, "Remember the guys that helped out?" I said, "Yeah, sure." She goes, "Remember Bumpy?" I said, "Yeah, well, Bumpy passed away." I said, "Oh, gee, that's a shame." I said, "How old was Bumpy?" He was 95. Oh, God bless him. He lived a full life. I said, "Oh, Dorothy, by the way, how did you know that Bumpy died?" She goes, "I saw it in the paper, the obituary." I said, "It said Bumpy?" She says, "Yeah, Harold Werkheiser, and in parentheses, Bumpy." I went inside, I called Richie, "Look at the obituaries, that parentheses, squint." There are 8 million nicknames in the Naked City. This has been a few of them. I wish you well.